happens. And trust me, the people that had encountered this person, the people that have met this person, they feel the same way. Like, dang, like we were fooled too. You fooled a lot of people. My daughters, my mom, my family, my close friends. So it happened. But I always try to say, there's a method to the madness. There's always a method to the madness. I was in shock. I was hurt. I was ashamed. I was disappointed in myself. You know, I was upset with myself for, as I look back hindsight on what I should have realized, which is why I wrote the book, because this is not just for me, it's for everybody else. And then it was my assignment to put an end to it. You know, it wasn't about hurting anyone. It was about exposure, exposing people to someone who has hurt so many people, bringing awareness about this individual, but also about anybody else that may be encountering narcissistic relationships or narcissistic abuse.
Welcome back to another Healing Conversation podcast with your favorite self-care coach and motivator, Addie Speaks. Today, we have a lovely guest on here. Her name is Shareza Jackson. She is a full-time entrepreneur, an author, a business consultant, a playwright, executive producer, a success coach, and a philanthropist. And I want her to go deeper in who she is in her community. But before she goes deeper, I want to give you guys an announcement. This year, July 2nd, we are hosting our 3rd annual I Am Light Healing Workshop. This segment is called We Can Heal. And we're going to have great panel discussion. We're going to have great activities and great things to get you on your journey to wellness. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Shareza, for coming on. I'm probably mispronouncing your name.
No,
Shareza.
it's okay. It happens. It happens.
Miss Shareza, please come on and introduce yourself and allow us to get to know you.
All right. Well, I am Shareza Jackson, Shareza J. I mean, I think you said everything. You said it all.
You sure? Listen.
I mean, you said a lot. We don't have to get into all that, but you know, I just like to say, look, I'm a woman's woman. I love people, and look, I'm just trying to rebuild and get my life back and get everything going and popping again, you know, and getting back to who I am and the things that I love.
Yes. And so I know you have a book that just came out, and that's the reason I also pulled you onto this podcast, because I know that there are so many women or sometimes men that endure such dark moments in life, and it's sometimes hard for them to overcome. Could you introduce your book and your journey on how you overcame?
Okay, well, the book, I have it right here. I don't know if you guys can see it in the background, but it's Successful Women Get Played Too. Mastering the art of owning your ish, keeping your ish, and keeping it moving.
Yes.
So Successful Women Get Played Too is really about bringing awareness to women that may go through circumstances and helping others understand that it's not just about, you know, a lot of women are get portrayed as gold diggers or what have you and things of that sort. But women are going through some real life mess in which, you know, we're being played and swindled and scammed. And you know, the book was really to bring awareness, to share my story, because I do believe that in each one of us, there's all of us. Yes. What I go through, you know, you may not go through the same thing, but there's some, you know, similarities there. So I really just wanted to bring awareness to, you know, an unfortunate situation, be as transparent as possible, and in hopes of, you know, helping people identify the red flags, identify how to navigate through an unfortunate situation, and also to heal from it. You know, we got to keep going and, you know, healing. So it's really about owning your issue. And when I say owning, it's all about accountability as well. What part did I play in the situation? You know, keeping it together. So it's really all a play on words. It's about keeping it together as you navigate through this, you know, situation, and keeping it moving. Life be lifing. Life goes on. We can't ball up in fetal position and just let life knock us down because you've overcome this circumstance, and guess what, something else is going to happen and something else is going to happen. So it's really just about, owning your ish, keeping your ish, and keeping it moving. And when I talk about, when I say owning, like I said, it's accountability, but also the stuff that you own and keeping your assets. So we get into it as far as what you need to do to make sure you're protected financially, and I always talk about success, because successful women, you hear that and you automatically think financial. But it's all about, a successful woman to me is a woman who understands who she is, who she walks in, and what she walks into, and who she is as it relates to her character, her integrity. Not about accolades, not always about the money, but success is who you define yourself to be within.
Yes. That's good. So that means, with your statement, that means you had to build yourself, you had to affirm yourself, you had to decree over yourself.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I wanted to start by asking is, what inspired you to take the leap and start your own business, and what lesson that you learned from that experience?
I was always that little girl I was that little girl in elementary school in the candy store, going and buying 25-cent candy, taking it to school and selling it for 50 cents and flipping it, So I always had that entrepreneur spirit, right? I've always had it. But as life continued to life and things happened, my journey became a little different because I knew I wanted to help women. I knew being a two-time teen mom, taking the road less traveled, still having to go through the things that I've gone through in life, and actually, having my daughter's father killed when I was 5 months pregnant. I've gone through so much. So the life has taken me in different directions, but I knew it brought me back to my story is not for myself. It's not just for me to share. So I thought about the mental health of women, the overall wellness of women, mind, body, and soul, writing my books, sharing my dirty laundry in my books. This is my first book is Sister D Program. It's actually 10-year anniversary this year. I'll be relaunching that book in August. Shameless plug. But I'll be relaunching that book in August. But that book was about, kind of Sister D Program, redefining yourself, really about redefining yourself and creating your own definition, and kind of sharing my story as, I went through tragic situations. So, I knew that my calling, my purpose is to help women's wellness, being an advocate for women, mind, body, and soul. And I also knew that that is not easy. So when you talk about the lessons, you got to be careful who you partner with. That has to be a big thing, who you're going into partnership with. And also understanding that it's hard out here for women, minority women, Black women, as we become business owners, as we try to be trailblazers in our community. It can be difficult. And, I've learned to just, keep going, keep persevering, be resilient, believe in yourself, not giving up, not letting people tell you who you are who you say you are. Also, from a financial aspect, just making sure that, there are certain steps that you need to take to make sure that, your business is secure and you want the longevity of your business. But it's so much, so many, you learn every day. I'm still learning, none of us have it all figured out, especially, myself. So as I go through day by day, I'm just getting the lessons and, continuing to just learn, and each one teach one. What I learn, I'm gonna give it back,
Right. And I'm glad you said that. You pointed out that you were a young mom. How were you able to balance your various roles as an entrepreneur, an author, a community change maker, but also being a full-time mom?
My daughters are like my best friends, and everybody knows who knew me for years and years. When I was out there speaking, my girls were right there. When I was at those vendor tables selling books, my girls were right there. So really just allowing them to watch me, move and shake, and work hard. navigating through life, because life is about balance, right? They say it's about balance, but sometimes balance is BS.
Right.
Sometimes as you're moving, you can't just you try to balance, but sometimes there's no balance. You just going with the flow.
Right.
But what I really try to do is, take time for things that I believe in. If I don't have time, I've learned over the years to say no. I've learned to say no, I can't do it. That's not my assignment right now. So really just maneuvering, understanding what, God's purpose is for me at that moment, at that time. I think that's how I was able to maneuver. Like in this season, this is what he wants from me. And last season, this is what he wanted from me. Prior to that, this is what he wanted from me. And I really, really try to stay in tune with what, God and the universe tries to tell me, so that I can continue to be obedient and continue to thrive.
Yes, that's good. And I wanted to know, for you to be able to maintain your well-being, of course, there were some practices that you had to do. So what are some self-care practices that you were able to incorporate into your lifestyle?
Listen, you have to take a me day. You have to take a me day. Life is so mundane. It's so much going on in the world. Like right now, today, you got to take time for yourself. So for me, it's really like for real. Like for real. Like I said, say no. If you can't do it, if you don't want to do it, if you need to rest, rest. Like for real. If you need to take a day to say, okay, this is what I need to do, I need to rest. But, I like to get massages. I love to get massages. I like the reflexology. I'll go and, get a nice massage, a hair scalp massage, and, things of that sort. Counseling, as I was going through, this unfortunate situation, I, had to seek counseling, and I always tell people counseling does not equal crazy, okay? Counseling is very good for us in our community and things that we need to do. So taking care of myself mentally, physically, and emotionally. I exercise a lot. I'm sure, a lot of people see that, like I show it sometimes, but that's my therapy. It's so therapeutic for me, exercising. And not only does it help me, stay in shape as far as my body is concerned and healthy, but it helps me mentally. It really, like, I will go out there and do like 200 jumping jacks and feel better. You know what I mean? Like mentally, it keeps me just really sane as I'm going through like different waves of life.
Right. And I like that answer, because people don't understand or just find it hard to believe how physical activity plays a major role in your mental health.
Absolutely.
And so, I don't want to pry, right? Hold on. Can we
You gonna take a drink? You trying to take a drink right now? Because you about to cry. I feel it. I feel it.
Listen, you had used the word swindle. Mm-hmm. And I know that word swindle means that you was taking off guard, mm-hmm. right? That it blindsided mm-hmm. you. And I wanted you to just go a little bit deeper on that moment. What was that for you? Especially with all that you had going on. You're an entrepreneur, everything is rocking, you're taking care of yourself, everything just up and running. But then
I started
something
finding things out. Right. I use that word and I use it loosely because it's definitely something. So listen, I want to encourage our followers to make sure they get the book, because I don't want to give a thing. You gotta get the book. But it's really just about going through an unfortunate circumstance where you find out that someone is not who they said they were.
Yeah.
I was, in a marriage, and your girl got. That's all I gotta say. And people who have been on my social media, I've kind of been transparent about certain things. It's been all in the blogs, all in the newspapers, all on
it's got
YouTube. It's shade room, like, and let me just say this real quick. Why I have the audience attention. I do so much. I've done so much for my community, and it took something like this to get me on Shade Room, to get me on the blog,
it's
to
always
get
the
media attention. It took for me to get God for, when I was out there in the elderly homes, homeless and getting gas for 100 cars and doing my thing out there and just doing my philanthropy work. Nobody came out. Nobody came out. The media didn't come out. You know, as I'm doing as I'm operating in my gift and my calling, nobody came out. But as soon as the negativity happens, people come out. But
they
hey,
grabbed onto it.
Right? That's life. But listen, if that gets me to the next level of where I need to be and where God wants me to be, to really be that voice of change and reason for women and young girls, then I guess I had to go through that. So that was the tough part of all of this. Really having to go through it, my integrity being questioned, my reputation being tarnished, my character being questioned. So it was kind of it was tough. But yes, I was, you know, doing my thing in corporate America, making six figures, doing what I needed to do for myself and my girls, had everything together. And then here comes Mr. Look right, but ain't right. And your girl got
Wait, we gotta say, hold on. Look right, but ain't right.
Look right, but ain't right. Yeah.
Hold on. Yes.
Got all knew what to say, knew how to say it, knew what to do. I mean, just everything. And yeah, I mean, it was all a sham. It was all a scam. It wasn't true. It wasn't real. And you know, it's crazy because people will say, "Oh, that would have never happened to me." Listen, I'm very educated. I'm very educated, and I would have been that woman. And if I'm going to be honest with myself, as people need to be, it would have been me saying, "Oh, that'll never happen to me. Oh no, I'm too smart. Oh no, honey, I would have noticed those red flags. Oh no, no, no." I would have been her. And I think I'm one of the smartest people, right? And it happened. Because when you have someone who has been doing this for over 20 years, I'm talking about going back to 1999, who has been doing this for well over 20 years, they are the subject matter experts in this. Because your heart is pure and you're not having these type of intentions and you're not having criminal intentions and you're not thinking, you know, that this would happen, right? You're not thinking that way. You're caught off guard. And this is just life, right? It happens. And trust me, the people that had encountered this person, the people that have met this person, they feel the same way. Like, dang, like we were fooled too. You fooled a lot of people. My daughters, my mom, my family, my close friends. So it happened. But I always try to say, there's a method to the madness. There's always a method to the madness. I was in shock. I was hurt. I was ashamed. I was disappointed in myself. You know, I was upset with myself for, as I look back hindsight on what I should have realized, which is why I wrote the book, because this is not just for me, it's for everybody else. And then it was my assignment to put an end to it. You know, it wasn't about hurting anyone. It was about exposure, exposing people to someone who has hurt so many people, bringing awareness, and not just about this individual, but also about anybody else that may be encountering narcissistic relationships or narcissistic abuse, because it's real. It's real. And it's just something that I don't even think the law enforcement has caught up to. I don't think that the media is finally getting a take on it. But I hear it being thrown around so loosely. Narcissist, narcissist, narcissist. No, baby, you don't know what a narcissist is until you've actually endured the wrath of a narcissist. You don't know. So, yeah.
I mean, with your response, you guys, her shameless plug, listen, if you get the book, it goes deeper. Like, you're going to be like she said, she's a playwright. Isn't that how your book is set up in a way, in a play form?
Exactly like the play.
Listen,
yeah,
it was a great read. And I wanted to know, what is your approach to younger women when they feel the need to, you know, encounter a romantic partner? What is some advice that you would give them?
You know, it's easy to say do your research, right? Because don't know. Nowadays, you just gotta do it. I Googled the individual, and back then, the individual. Now, if someone puts all this stuff out on social media, they put that they're this on social media, they put it on their LinkedIn page, they done set up a whole website that says this is who they are. Like, you're like, oh, they legit, but
Right.
you're not thinking as a fraudulent person. You're not thinking as a criminal. You're thinking there's no way that somebody would put all of this out here if it weren't true, right? This is public information. You can pull it up. You're speaking on radio shows. You're speaking on platforms saying this is who you are. Like, you're telling people. This is so freaking crazy. Every time I think about it, it's just like, what the heck? But you're telling people that this is who you are. And it's crazy. So what I'm going to say is you got to go a little deeper when you're talking about researching someone. You got to go deeper. You got to do them background checks. I'm sorry. I mean, now you really have to do background checks, and you have to ask questions. And let me tell you and that's why I talk about accountability, because my biggest mistake was I didn't ask not a lot of questions. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of my friends back then, you know, because I would date, and then if something wasn't right, I'm cutting somebody off quick. And they started saying, you're too tough on people. You need to loosen up. You need to do this. You need to do that. You're being so shallow. I got called shallow. I got called so many things. And the minute I take my guard down and say, okay, I'm going to handle this one different. I'm going to handle this one different. I got. So when you have an intuition and you know that what you have been doing works for you, let it work for you, because that was one of my biggest mistakes. I was like, nope, I'm just going to go in trusting. I'm an individual that I trust backwards, right? I always say I trust backwards. I'm sorry. Like, people will be like, oh, she's so standoffish. Yes, I am, because I got to feel your energy. I got to get to know you. I got to get to know who you are, what you're about, before I say, okay, I'm going to trust you. But this one I did different. I went against what I normally do. And I was like, I'm gonna do it different, because I don't want to be shallow. I don't want to be what my friends say or what they call me, or I don't want to be so tough, because they were like, girl, you just be cutting people off so quick. You're so quick to cut somebody off. I don't want to be that no more. I want to, give people a chance.
Loosen up.
Girl. Biggest mistake.
Listen.
Because I went against who I really was. I was that chick that's going to ask you 1,001 questions. And if something don't make sense, I'm going to question that. Right? But I didn't do that. And that was on me. And I had to hold myself accountable.
Wow. So at the end of the day, ladies, trust yourself. Even men too, trust yourself. Listen, if there's a way you move before entering to any ship, do just that. Yeah. You don't need you sinking anymore. Listen, because I didn't want to say this, but I told you actually at the other event that your story resembles mine. Because again, my friends were like, oh my goodness, you got to loosen up, Addie. Like, you're doing too much. Like, come on, you're young. Like, have fun. And it's like you give chances and you realize, oh, this is why my standards were there. This is why I didn't want to do this. This is why I had boundaries. This is what this was. I didn't know the way I move was boundaries. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting what God gave me, only to realize, this what they were doing, how they were moving was just a bit frivolous than how I would, like I was protecting, I was guarding, I was at my gate, Absolutely. So we're approaching our end, and I wanted to know, because you're a success coach, everything you touch multiplies, everything you do is a success. So I want to know, what are 4 self-care tips? And it doesn't always, it could be like about business, it could be about a new adventure, it could be about relationship. What are 4 self-care tips in these different arenas that you can give somebody?
So the first thing I would say is give yourself grace.
Yes.
You're going to fail. You are going to fail. You got to get back up. You got to keep it moving. Don't be so hard on yourself. Number 2, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. You cannot be everything for everybody. You can't. Because if you're no good to yourself, then there's absolutely no way that you're going to be good for anybody else. 3, believe in yourself. believe in yourself. I was on your page and I liked what you said on your wall, and I actually have a jewelry box that says the same thing. She believed she could, so she did.
Yes.
Right? Yes. She believed she could, so she did. And you have to believe in yourself if you want to start that business, if you want to write that book, you know. And as you said, I'm a success coach and I'm here to help. I have, you know, my book writing consultations, and we go through the step of starting to finish. But anything that you want to do, business consultant, opening that business, opening, you know, whatever, what have you, whatever you want to do, just believe in yourself. Don't allow the naysayers to nay. So this is number 4. Don't allow the naysayers to nay you, right? To stir you in the wrong direction, or to make you feel that you cannot, or make you feel less than. And as far as too often, and I'm talking right now to my minority women, my Black women, I was just, you know, watching something YouTube where Kelly Rowland, I don't know, it's gone viral, yes, where she had to, you know, check somebody. Yes. And she's like, don't talk to me like right. that. But that's what they keep playing, the finger pointing, the finger right. pointing, the finger pointing, right? They're not showing what the person did to her to make her react that way. Exactly. Right? Exactly. What's going viral is the finger pointing. And what's going to happen, and this is what I want everyone to understand, especially my minority women, like, it's okay. We don't always have to be what they call the bigger person, right? We're always expected as Black women to be the bigger person. You know why? Yeah. Because we'll end up being called the angry Black woman, the vindictive Black woman, the woman with an attitude, because we're not understood. Malcolm X said it best: the most disrespected, unprotected, neglected person in America is the Black woman. So if we try to change that narrative, and we have to start with ourselves, because it's us that be against us a lot, right? So I would say number 4, you know, be who you are, be who you want to be who you are. Just don't hurt people. Our prime purpose in life, and this is Dalai Lama's quote, not mine, not Shareza J's, but this is my favorite quote. Our prime purpose in life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. Yeah. Don't hurt them, right? So let's start with one another. Let's start with each other. Because as I was going through everything I was going through, the people that hurt me the worst were my own people. The people that tarnished my name the most were my own people. The people that tried to come for my reputation were my own people, right? So I would say, be who you are. Do not allow the naysayers to nay, right? And just take care of yourself overall, mind, body, and soul. Yes. If you have to regroup. Yes. Refocus. Yes. You got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, though. You have to take care of you first.
And I wanted you to do plug. Where can they buy your book?
Get my book on my website. It's on SharezaJ.com. Yes. Listen, this has been a very crazy, ugly, you know, divorce, going through different things. And y'all, these legal fees are legaling. Yes. They feeing. And, you know, I'm not asking for the, what do you call it? GoFundMe or nothing like that. It's just go buy the book. Just support me by buying the book. You know, it's a great read. Addie's read it, and just support me by buying the book, but also be on the lookout for Shareza J, you know, up to come. It's a lot that I'm working on, a lot that I have coming up, a lot that I'm, you know, as I rebuild my life, rebuild my business, rebuild my brand, you'll see a lot coming from me. And let's just support one another. SharezaJ.com. And follow me on Instagram, Facebook, everything.
Yes, and are you able to drop your website on the comment section?
Can somebody drop it for me? I think my people are on. Can y'all drop it? SharezaJ.com.
Yes.
I think my besties on there.
Yes, I see them. And if you guys have any questions, you guys can also drop it in the comment section, and she will go ahead and answer your questions. But you know, Shareza, you covered so much great points. Trust in yourself, believe in yourself, move by faith. Know that at times you will and may fail, but the whole objective is to get back up and remember your vision. Absolutely. Remember what God has given you. So I really appreciate you shining light on that. I really appreciate you shining light on just keeping it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Yeah. And I'll give them 2 minutes. I'm looking right here to see if I see any comments. Give me 1 second. Well, all right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. I don't see any questions. Oh, I do see the website. I'm going to go ahead and pin it. Again, visit the website, make your purchase, and read the book. Don't let another season go by where you are swindled. Get into the know. See and understand the red flags. Get the book. So again, Shareza, thank you so much for coming on to the Healing Conversation.
No,
And I hope to speak to you very soon.
yes, we'll see each other soon. Thank you
Yes,
for
we
having
will.
me.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.